Alright, I'm on the farm this evening. The first thing we got to do with an old tractor before you pump up the tire is to make sure it'll start. It's running. Nothing like a 3-cylinder Perkins diesel, an easy starter. Need to lift up the bucket. So what I'm up to with this bucket is I'm trying to get the shell off of it. And I got all the bolts out on both sides except this one right here. And the last time I was up here tinkering with it, I did not have the right wrenches to deal with it. I think I got that now. Put a little PB blaster on there. There's probably a big giant wasp nest up in there forming up. But the goal is to get this shell off and get that thing off, and I want to use these prongs to spear round bales with. So I'll come back. So this is a tough bolt right here. It's all I can do to turn that wrench, and I had to stand on it earlier. Let me come back. Alright, so I got it loose. It's amazing how much this thing is sprung. This bucket's like a gigantic lock washer. Let's see what happens if I pull it on loose. Kind of thread that stuff on out of there. And typically I'd use an impact gun on something like this, but that's just not what I got with me here today. So there it goes. All right, let me come back. All right, so the next item I got to deal with is this piece of junk spear right here. And there's a bolt on the bottom of it I got to take off, and it ought to come tumbling right off there. Let me deal with that and I'll come back. If this seems tedious, it is. And I'm just trying to keep my wrenches on here and not have the stupid thing knock me down when it falls off. Like that. I'm telling you, I guess these things work for some people, but on this loader tractor it could have caused a lot of heartbreak and breakage, and I thought it was a good idea, but I'm convinced it's something completely other than that. So let me clear my tools, and I'm gonna try to dump this shell off. I'll come back. All right, I got one more bolt that I had in here loose. I'm gonna turn it out, and that should completely relax this bucket, other than how it might otherwise be binding on these forks. But let's see. Okay, so the next thing I believe the next thing should be raise that sucker up a little bit and then give it the big dump. And just like that, we got a manure bucket. I don't know how well these things are going to spear into a bale, but they feel pretty stout. My original plan was to take this one out, keep this one, and take these two off and these two off, and just have two here and here. But if you haven't watched his channel, you should. Farmer Pete, he commented on one of the videos that he had a bucket similar to this with the manure forks on it. I believe I read his comment right, and he suggested I try it just like it is. I might like it, so that's what I'm going to do. All right, so we got the engine to start, we got the bucket off. Now we can put some air in the tire. Looks better with the cap on it. So you can't see this at all, and I don't know if they'll go in or they'll push it, but let me let that bucket down just a touch. Whoop. And then let it down just a touch. Whoop. So am I perfectly aligned? Probably not. So I'm gonna lay this camera right up on here and just drive right into the bale. I'll come back. All right, that's what I was afraid of. So I'm gonna back out, I'm gonna go out, and I'm gonna try to take some of these things off before it gets too dark. I'll come back. A little bit of pounding. And there's one of them. So let me, before it gets dark, let me take the rest of these things out, except the ones I talked about. I'm going to take this one, and these two. So I'll come back. All right, for the most part, it went pretty easy. So 2 spears left. I think I need both of them to lift the hay. Maybe I only need one. But let me get over and try to spear that bale again. I'll come back. Man, this thing looks really barren with that shell off of it and only 2 of these things in there. Let me get it lined up. Can't see anything. I'm gonna have to figure out something clever to be able to see from the cab to some extent what's going on with the tines. I'll set you up right here and try to stab this thing again. All right, got full penetration on that. I had to back up and line up a little better. Now let's see if it'll pick it up without breaking anything off. So it's probably not perfect, but it fits the budget. It's getting dark. I'm losing the daylight. This is a round bale from an earlier video, and so this is my scheme to pick these things up. If this don't work out, then I'm gonna put a quick attach plate on here and use a bale spear. That, or I'll buy a brand new tractor or something stupid. So let me get off and put this thing away in the bale, and got a few more to pick up. Sorry about it getting dark, but working after the day job up here this evening. So that's a 4x4 round baler from the John Deere 335 and the 1962 Massey Ferguson 50 with a 3-cylinder Perkins diesel model 100 loader. And knock on wood, my hydraulic hose repair's holding. Got my fingers crossed. So I'm gonna put that away and get a few others. So before I close this video, one thing I wanted to mention, part of the goal here was to move this bale back closer to the loader to take the stress off of the hydraulic cylinders and their attachment points. And so with that other spear, as long as that shell was, this bale would be out here and it wouldn't be all the way up to the edge of the bucket, because the two prongs that were on either side of the bale spear would hold that thing off probably, you know, a good foot. So that bale would be way out here and not very stable. We'll have more videos, more round baling to come, and square baling too. We're getting into hay season for 2024. Thought I'd throw this little clip in. Definitely more stable. It's no longer bouncing like that as I go along. And as I come through the opening here to my barn, I've had a few bumps, but you can see it's definitely a stout load. That loader's doing a fine job with that bale pulled back up against it this way. So just thought I'd throw this clip in too. That'll be the video. Hit the like button, subscribe, comment, share, and we'll talk to you later.